Hello everyone, it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio, and today I'm sharing with you some weird gel printing. This all stemmed from me watching my friend Peg do a impromptu live stream a couple weeks ago, and she wanted to try making some dendritic prints, and I wanted to try that too, but she had shown that she had these plates, these gel plates made by Ranger that fit into the Dilutions books. Now I don't have the larger skinny one, but I have that shorter one, and I wanted that size of gel plate, and I also wanted to try one of these squeaky tiny little brayers that Ranger sells, and so I ended up ordering them and they came, and I wanted to play with them. And I also wanted to try her dendritic prints. There's a lot of videos out there if you guys want to watch it. Basically, it's pressing paint in between two hard surfaces, pulling it apart, and it makes this kind of what reminds me of frost on a window type of a pattern. And you can just print it right off the acrylic. So I'm not really sure what the point was to putting it on the plate, but you can get more colors that way, so I wanted to try it. Also, when we had the hop the other day, the hashtag Artsy Second Sunday hop, there's a chat during that because we do it as a premiere on YouTube. And I think that it started with someone talking about paper blenders, which are called Tortillian, also just called blending stump, but it has this fancy name of Tortillian. And I made some joke in the chat about blending with tortillas because here where I live, we eat a lot of tortillas. If you're from another country, maybe you don't eat those, but it's a type of flatbread, and usually you make a taco or a burrito with it. And I said something about, oh, I should remember to gel print with tortillas. And you know, you can make patterns on gel plates with anything at all. And so, of course, I'm going to do it. I'm going to print with tortillas, of course. But I started with this dendritic printing, and I was using the two pieces of plastic that come with the plate on either side, the ones that they say you should remove. And I did notice that these plates that I got from Ranger, the reason that you should remove that plastic and not store the plate with the plastic on it is because the air can get underneath it. And if it's stored a long time that way, you'll get bubbles in the plate. And as you can see as I'm printing today, and you saw me take them out of the package, my plates came with bubbles already. You can even see it up in the corner if you look. You can see that the plate's not smooth. And I think that's a defect. I guess I'm not going to care. I'm hoping that it will, over time, straighten itself out. But yeah, they came that way. So for sure, don't keep those plastics on there if you don't want to have bubbles. But it actually made an interesting pattern, as you could see in those prints. And I was using those plastic pieces to try to get the dendritic look by putting paint in between them and pressing them down. And it didn't really work. It made a splotchy look, plus then I had the addition of the bubbles, but it didn't give me that branchy, frosty look. So I have some mounting plates that I use with my gel plates that I just cut out of a big sheet of acrylic, and I decided to try it with those. So here's two of my small ones, which would fit that circular gel plate that came with this set. There's a little circular one. I already have one though, so I'm gonna give it away or something. I don't think I need two of them, but it's just like a small, maybe 3-inch circle. And these are my ones that I use to mount those size plates. I have a square and a triangle and a leaf shape and a butterfly and a fin type shape, like a fish fin type shape. I don't know. I have several of these small ones. So With the harder acrylic plates, I was able to get that look of the frosty look, especially when I did it with the blue. Of course, the blue color lends itself to that look anyway, because you kind of think of cold and blue and ice and um, you know, it gives that frosty feeling. But I did want to show you guys what these little plates look like inside of the Dilutions Dialogue journal. They leave a border. It's actually kind of cool. Um, I mean, did I need to spend that money on these plates? Probably not. Do I have enough gel plates? Absolutely. I've got tons of different ones in different sizes, but it was one of those impulses. It's like, oh, I don't have one that fits inside my Dilutions book. Of course, now I have to go and buy one of the larger Dilutions book that fits the bigger one, because I have to, right? We all understand this. We all, if you are someone in my tribe like me, you know what I'm talking about. You know that I'm gonna have to go and order that larger journal from Dilutions from Ranger, just so that it can match this larger gel plate, which I think is 6 by 12, because I used later on you'll see me using a deli paper sheet, which is 12 by 12, that's been folded in half, and it fits that. It'll take that whole sheet. So I'm done with trying out the dendritic printing, and I decided to go for the tortillas. So I have a little circle cutters that I use for biscuits and cookies and all the kinds of things that you use circle cutters for in my kitchen. And I grabbed those when I grabbed the package of tortilla, and I started cutting circles out of the tortilla. I was thinking, a lot of us really enjoy like a grungy, uh, imperfect print. It's just something that's fun, and people go for that, right? So I decided that probably because this is a bread and it's got bubbles in it and it's kind of a rough surface, that it would make an interesting grungy print, I thought. So, like I said, make texture with anything. It can be food, it doesn't matter. I have a video somewhere, and I'll try to remember to post it in the iCard of printing with citrus. Citrus is really fun. You can also make stamps out of your potatoes. I mean, it's not a new thing. I just don't think I've ever actually seen anyone print with tortillas. So of course I'm going to do it, right? Especially this. I think there's a gel print uh, challenge going on right now, which I haven't been participating in, but from Jelly Arts or somebody, they're having a challenge on Instagram, a daily prompts for gel printing. But I don't think tortilla is one of them. So I put down some paint. I put the tortilla on. Then I am going to pick it up with a second layer of paint. I thought when I took those tortillas off, the pink and purple one, that they would print onto the smaller plate, but the tortilla absorbed the paint and nothing came off at all. So tortillas do not make good stamps, I'll tell you that, because the surface is too porous, and it picks up the paint and absorbs it. Of course, you can't eat these now. Don't try to eat them, because you don't eat acrylic paint. Just throw them in the trash when you're done. But this is all for fun. I put way too much white paint here, so I didn't get a good print on my first one. But it's definitely grungy. The second one's much better. When you're trying to do a pickup print and you put way too much paint, you know what happens. You end up just getting the top layer of the paint pulled off. So it is an interesting look. It's not perfect. It's got a lot of texture and kind of that grungy effect that I was thinking would happen. And so I thought that was pretty fun. Pretty fun. So I decided to try it again a few times, switching the paint colors. So that paper on the right there is what I'm talking about. That is a 12 by 12 deli paper sheet that has been folded in half. So this bigger plate is definitely 6 by 12. And I'm not sure what size the other one is, but these are the Ranger Dilutions gel plate offerings. So this time, hardly any of the paint was left underneath the tortillas. So they had a layer of acrylic paint on them already, and that attracted, it was still kind of wet, absorbed into the tortilla, and that attracted the paint even more. And I was left with kind of like imprints, which I think is really cool. And I should have picked that up with like a light color. I ended up not doing that. I ended up going off the rails, but it would have been a really cool, like a white or off-white. Now this one, there was some paint that was mostly dry on the other plate, and I used those tortillas to pick up the paint, the paint, because they kind of attract it now. So it wasn't a perfect print, but a different effect. So I put some metallic paint on here. It's like a blue-black PBO acrylic paint, which is, and it's a, metallic, to see what would happen, and to use some black paper, black text weight paper to pick it up. And it's pretty cool, but it's not dramatic. It would have been much more dramatic if I used a light color. I just wanted to try with the dark paper. And then the other one is rice paper. So I've got rice paper, I've got white text weight paper, black text weight paper, and then I have a few labels, ones that come. Sometimes when you get a package, it comes with a little label inside, or they used to. I haven't gotten them in a while, but you can print over the top of that label, even if it has writing on it. It might take a couple layers, and then once it's label printed, you can punch out of it or die cut out of it, and then you have a sticker. So I save them. I have a stack of them there, and that's what I was kind of messing around with as well. So now this is the third print onto this same piece of deli paper, and I cut up the tortilla into different shapes, and I think that print turned out really good. It's got you can see the other two layers underneath, but then the black, of course, obliterates all that and adds new shapes, and it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. I'm not sure what I'm going to use it for, but I think it's pretty cool. I decided to try going over the top of the tortilla with them already on, like you might with a stencil. They're a little bit bumpy. Maybe not the best choice for that either. But I put some copper on there because that's a favorite of mine. And then I went to pick it up with a third color. So I've got these outlines with black, and then I've got copper on there, and then it's kind of patchy because I went over the tops of the tortillas. And then I put this dioxazine purple on there and picked it up. So gel printing with tortillas, it's fun. You know, if you got an extra tortilla laying around, you might want to try it. We always have 3 or 4 packs, so it's not a hardship to lose one tortilla. Kind of fun and weird. So that's the other side of that same deli paper that was folded in half. And again, you get like the outlines of the black with the copper and then the purple peeking through. Again, a cool print. I liked it. Pretty fun. And then on the other one, what did I end up with? I think just, oh, I remember. That's my favorite print of all of them on a piece of rice paper. That turned out really cool. So there you have it. Printing with tortillas. What will she do next? Well, while I was having my printing session, because sometimes you have snacks, I had an Oreo. Well, I had a stack of 4 Oreos, and I ate 3 of them. And then I had this other one, and I'm like, why not? Right? I also had a couple marshmallows, which there was a pack of marshmallows that we had when I was looking in the cupboard for the Oreos, I saw these old marshmallows that are not completely dried out, but pretty dried out because they were for making s'mores last fall. So they've been in the cupboard for a year, and they're sealed in a Ziploc, but still, they're going to be good for s'mores again, but they're not as squishy as they once were. But as I was grabbing the cookies, I thought to myself, I should print with marshmallows because you can manipulate them, especially when they're kind of hard. You can manipulate them into shapes. So I grabbed a couple of those too. Um, but the Oreos were for me to eat. But then I ended up printing with my last Oreo, and then I couldn't eat it. And I'm like, dang it, I lost my Oreo. But yeah, there you go. Prints with Oreos. You can actually see the full impression of the cookie. For sure. You can see the Oreo part there. Kind of funny. And then I continued on with the marshmallows for a while. So there you can see I squished the marshmallow. The first marshmallow had a little dent in it, and then on the other side of it, you could do two patterns on it because it's fat, and you could do something to the other side. So I squished in the other sides on the flip side of the marshmallow and made kind of like a little X shape. I also took one and I poked a hole in the middle of it. And the print that it made kind of reminds me of, I have a wooden spool in my set of things that I print with, and it kind of reminded me of that. Or maybe a battery. Um, I've seen people print with batteries with like let's see, what would that be? A D battery, I think. But it's not as perfect. It's more of an imperfect shape. So fun mark making with marshmallows. And with the marshmallows, you don't even need to throw them away. You can just put them in with your stuff that you print with if you want to. Because I know for a fact that marshmallows dry hard and last forever. Because one of my sons, years and years ago, probably 20 years ago, made a little snowman at preschool. Um, Out of a marshmallow, out of two marshmallows. They took a marshmallow, put some little buttons on it, took a little piece of felt, put it in between, put another marshmallow on top, and then I think there's some more felt on the top and a little string, and it's this cute little snowman made out of a marshmallow. That thing dried. It's been with our Christmas ornaments for all this time, and it's still perfectly fine. So that's what you're putting in your stomach, people. So there's some prints. Some of them I took paint and put it onto the plate from the other plate, like a stamp. Also, the roll-off paper turned out really cool, so you'll see it in the picture too. So that's the one that all I did was take the marshmallow and take a pencil and poke a hole in the middle of it, like just a little ways in, and that it made that interesting shape that kind of reminds me of a green olive. Thought it was kind of a cool shape. I like it. Of all of them, I thought that was the coolest shape that the marshmallow made. So, here is another print. I've been lately obsessed with this trend of using teal, like light teal, like this, kind of a peachy color and a yellowy color, like these subdued pastels that are very beachy, kind of like old style faded beach. These colors are very interesting to me, and they seem to be trending right now for some reason. I don't know why colors trend. Is it Pantone's fault? I don't know. Is it decorators' fault? I'm not sure. But I've been seeing them everywhere, and I've kind of wanted to play with them. So that print right there is the colors I'm talking about. And then if you add like a peachy pale terracotta to that, that's the colors. So that's it for me. If you liked this video, please like, subscribe, comment, share, all those things to help out my channel. I really appreciate you helping me find other people who like my channel. And that's it for gel printing with tortillas. Bye-bye.